I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, and I fear no evil because I'm blind to it all. In my mind, in my gun, they comfort me, because I know I'll kill my enemies when they come. Surely goodness and mercy will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell on this earth forevermore. Said I'll walk beside the still waters, and they restore my soul. But I can't walk on the path of the right, 'cause I'm wrong. Well, I came upon a man at the top of a hill. He called himself the savior of the human race. Said he'd come to save the world from destruction and pain. I said, how can you save the world from itself? 'Cause I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, and I feel no evil, 'cause I'm blind. And I walk beside the still waters, and they restore my soul. But I know when I die, my soul is damned. Now I know when I die, my soul is damned. Now I know when I die, my soul is damned.
The name of that song is titled Through the Valley, and that was written and produced and sung by my special guest today, Shawn James. Shawn, welcome to the Friday Afternoon Music Mix.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. I'm excited to be here.
I'm excited for you to be here. I've really enjoyed doing some research about you, and let's talk a little bit about the song that kind of boosted your career, which is the one we just played, which is called Through the Valley. What a chart lifter that had been for you. It was used with a video game called The Last of Us Part 2, which has now been turned into a television show. It was filmed at Northern State Hospital in Cedar-Woolley. That's been a very popular song for you, hasn't it?
Yes, it was actually one of the first songs that I had ever written in, I think, about 2011, and it was released in 2012. And the funny thing about that song, if I can say, is in the beginning of my career, I loved that song. It was a very personal attachment to it and all that. And I used to play it live and no one cared. And I had to stop. I had to stop playing it live because just the reaction and the response, it was kind of a more somber, depressing song overall. And so I stopped playing it live for years. And then when The Last of Us 2 ended up using it, it became the biggest song I ever released. And now I have to play it every show. And I love to. But it's just funny how that happens.
People have got to go onto the YouTube channel and see you performing that, listening. The comments on there are wonderful, of course, but there was one that made me laugh but it's quite true, is the growl that you put on there. It's just super. It really is. I like it a lot. You're a young man and you've had tremendous success, which I'm really proud of you for that. Originally from Chicago, Illinois, started busking in Arkansas, and then finally ended up in many places, but Portland, Oregon. Have your own band called the Shapeshifters. You have 5 solo albums, 1 album and 4 EPs with the Shapeshifters. Have your own record company, which is Shawn James Music. Things are looking pretty good for you, and you're getting ready to start a tour here that will begin in Seattle at Nuemos on September the 19th at 7:30 p.m., and tickets are available online. The whole West Coast tour coming up, too.
Yeah, full U.S. actually. So we're doing.
Oh, really? Great.
Yeah, it's about 27 dates and about 35 days. So a long haul trip, but we're really looking forward to it. We've been touring for about 10 years now. Well, obviously with 2 years subtracted from COVID and all that fun time.
Right.
But yeah, it's good to get back out and to have that be a consistent part of our lives again.
I want to talk about, you've got a new album that you're working on, and you were kind enough to give me some singles from it. One of them that we're going to play next is called I Want More. When are you hoping that album will be released, and do you have a title for it yet?
So the album right now, I just finished tracking it all. I wrote it in the beginning of the year. It is getting mixed and mastered right now, and I hope to release it just after the tour. So hopefully early November is what I'm looking for. At the moment, I actually don't have a name for it. It's been eluding me. I'm still trying to come up with it. It's a concept album. It basically kind of goes into the life and the birth of an outlaw in the Wild West. There's a lot of different characters and songs attached to characters, different perspectives. And I'm really trying to find or have something come to me that kind of encompasses the whole thing. So at the moment, I don't have a name, but hopefully soon I will have a name for the actual whole project.
Let's hear I Want More. Sound good?
Yeah, let's do it.
I would never have thought that I'd find what I was after. I did not expect to come here and feel this way. I must admit I saw you here from across the room. You called me just like a siren singing a tune. And I want more of a good thing that makes me feel. And you want all I have to give, sounds like a fair deal. And I want more of a good thing that makes me feel. And you want all I have to give, sounds like a fair deal. If you ever wanted, I'd be the front and center. If you ever needed me, I wouldn't be the one me feel. And you, all I have to give sounds like a fair deal. And I want more of a good thing that makes me feel. And you, all I have to give sounds like a fair deal.
You know, the one thing that I really enjoy about your music, Shawn, is that you cannot be pigeonholed into a genre. And I know that you kind of started your singing career in gospel music, didn't you?
Yeah, I grew up in Chicago, Illinois, and I went to gospel churches down there. That's where I really learned the power of emotion and kind of dealing with things through music and the soul of gospel, really. The other aspect to that is while I was attending these gospel churches, my parents also in school, they enrolled me in opera as a saw talent. So I had this weird kind of juxtaposition of the classical world and opera and choir, and then the gospel and soulful world, the other aspect of it. I really attribute the ability and the know-how to kind of both of those, setting me up and educating me in both of those worlds.
That's terrific. It really shows in your music, R&B, gospel, a little rock, some soul, just a little bit of blues, everything that you've got in there. Tell me, I see that you have a great merchandise section on your website. I wanted to ask you, do you do the artwork for those album covers?
No. I wish that I had the ability to, but mine would with the stick figure drawings if I had to do it.
Me too.
But no, I've got so many people I've met over the years through my travels or people that come out to shows. A lot of people will just do art for me. They'll send it to me and I'll be like, wow, that's impressive. And I'll keep their contact information. And when I have an idea, then I'll kind of see whose art kind of fits the profile of the idea I have and just use the artists that I have. It's actually worked out great. I think I've used over a dozen different artists over the years for the album covers, t-shirt artwork and vinyl covers and stuff like that. But it's something that I like to do is use up-and-coming artists or local people where I'm at and just kind of expand the visual with the audio that I do, you know.
Some of those album covers are just stunning, aren't they?
I'm very fortunate. Yeah, it's wild. It's wild.
I also see on there that you're into vinyl. They sell out pretty quickly because you hand sign them all.
Yeah, you know, I try to. Obviously, I can't when I'm on the road, but when we prep for tour, it's something that I try to do. It seems people like to, you know, I don't know why they'd want my signature on anything, but but it seems to help. So yeah, it's we're independent with everything we do. So a lot of people, they sell out quick, and then I have to take the funds from that to fund the next project, and it just kind of does this circle. And it takes a while now. I don't know if you know, but vinyl has just shot back up into popularity in the recent years, are having such a hard time to keep up with the demand. So the turnaround time from like an order to actually when I have it in my hand is anywhere from 6 months to an entire year. So that's why you really have to prepare ahead of time and get it going before you know when you'll need it.
One of the artists that I interviewed recently is having all the vinyls done in Europe because they're just the production can't keep up here with it.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. You know, and a lot of times bigger labels that are pressing tens of thousands of records at a time are hiring out all the smaller mom and pop vinyl pressings and the bigger ones in the US, which pushes the independent production way back. So I know one of the biggest countries is the Czech Republic.
Yeah, that was where this one was.
That makes sense. Yeah, that's what I've heard. I haven't done it yet over there, but they're able to keep up with the demand I hear a little bit more. So
let's hear another one of your songs. This is called The Curse of the Fold.
Give me your heart and I'll show you how how to feel. Send me your soul and you'll know what it is to be free. We all need a deeper purpose, one that's true and bold. The only thing that could hurt us is the curse of the fold. I once knew a man who had fire in his eyes, bloody right hand he had taken his enemies' lives. The past was his torture, the future held his hope, until it chose his fortune as the curse of the fold. Although you may feel like giving up, it's not the only road. The path less often traveled holds the highest of hopes. Some used to say that I'd never scale this mountain. Now that I'm close, they shut their eyes and draw their curtains. Those who don't believe will always encourage defeat. They'll scream and shout and scold for the curse of the fold. Although I felt like giving up, it's not the road I chose. The path less often traveled held the highest of hopes. Held the highest of
I'm excited about this new album. Please don't forget me when you put that out, because I know I'll play your music. Let's also, so people, we've been talking about your website and the beautiful album covers. Let's give your contact information through there. ShawnJamesMusic.com. You can see the tour information that starts in Seattle on September the 19th at Nomos at 7:30 p.m. and then on to Vancouver, British Columbia, down the West Coast, and as Shawn mentioned, clear across the United States. You can see all of that on there. You can see the merchandise you can order from him directly there as well. Please look at his YouTube channel. He's got lots of videos on there, especially the Through the Valley. It's just fantastic. Facebook.com/Shawn James Soul. If you are a Spotify person, there's over 600,000 subscribers on his Spotify account. And I noticed that you keep that pretty up to date.
I try to.
Yeah, you sure do.
We try to release consistently. You know, the landscape is changing for releases. I think back in the day, it was a lot about an album every 2 or 3 years. Nowadays, it seems like consistency and just keeping people engaged is the best way to stay in touch. You know, for the first time, I feel like the artist has a lot more control in actually communicating with their fans, and that's a beautiful thing.
It is indeed. I did notice that you had been a sound engineer at one point in time in your career.
Yeah. When I graduated high school, I was put on the pressure of, what are you going to do with your life? You know, everyone knows how that is, right?
Hello, Mom and Dad.
Yeah. So I looked into, what am I interested in? You know, this and that. And at first, I was going to go to school for computer science. I went and did a couple of courses in that. It just wasn't sitting well with me. Yeah, I looked into what's related to music and what can I do that maybe goes hand in hand with making music like I want to. And that's when I found about audio engineering. And so I decided to go for it. I went to Orlando, Florida, and went to a school called Full Sail. That is an audio engineering school. You know, I learned a lot, and I don't necessarily have a job in the studio or anything like that. But I've found that over the years, really having that knowledge and know-how, I have my own personal studio at home now, which makes it really powerful. A lot of times you get inspiration in the moment. And if you're not on top of it, it can be gone. You can lose it. So I've found that having a home studio and being able to do everything DIY in that respect has really just enhanced the creativity and the freedom I have to experiment in the studio as well. I was working in studios in Nashville for a while.
I read that.
Yeah. And I was an intern. It was then, I think, a few months after I was interning, I got an offer to be an assistant, which is a paid gig. And that's like the dream, obviously. It's the first step in actually having a viable career in the audio engineering world. And I'll never forget when I was offered that position. It was late one night. We were in the studio. Everyone had left. It was me and the head engineer. And when he offered it to me, I never expected the response. I felt like, you know, that feeling you get when a cop pulls up behind you and they turn the lights on and your stomach just drops. That's what it felt like. It was so strange because it was something that I expected to be very proud of and very excited about. And my stomach dropped. And I remember him telling me to think about it. I didn't tell him then how I was feeling, but I went home and I spoke with my wife. After I had time to process everything, I kind of came to the conclusion that I was jealous of the people behind the glass, behind the ones that I was working to make sound good. They were able to do that, you know, performance and have that passion in that. Not that an audio engineer can't have that, but for me, it wasn't the same. It was then that I truly knew that I had to pursue music full time and really try to make that work. So I quit. A couple days later, I completely quit. I got a regular job unloading semi trucks at like department stores. And then I got to working on the music thing. At the time, it was a scary choice. Who knew that it was going to work out? Now, looking back, I'm very proud and I'm happy that I made that decision.
And we're proud that you did, because your voice is fantastic. Your music is amazing. Your range that you have with all the different genres that you're involved in is just amazing. Let's point out again, Shawn will be starting his tour at Numos in Seattle, Washington on September the 19th. That show will be at 7:30 p.m. You can buy the tickets online. then on to Vancouver, British Columbia, and then down the West Coast and clear across the United States and back again. And you can see all of that on his website at ShawnJamesMusic.com. You can see more information at Facebook.com/Shawn James Soul. His YouTube channel, be sure and watch Through the Valley. That's wonderful, as well as the other videos that are on there. And then if you're on Spotify, he keeps that really up to date as well. Let's go out, Shawn, with another song from the new album that's upcoming this fall. That's called Sick Shells. Thank you so very much for joining me here today. It's been an absolute pleasure. I signed up for your newsletter, so I'll be hearing about what you're doing.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. And we're really looking forward to the tour. And hopefully, maybe you can make it out to one of the dates. Let me know, and we'll throw you on the guest list if possible.
Ooh, that sounds great. Maybe Numos. That might be the place to start out. Thank you again. I appreciate it so much.
Of course. Thank you.